So this is going to be very important topic in Java. First, you need to build the applet code. The applet, what is that I need? I need two things. First one is web page and the HTML tag. And the second one that I have is applet. This is one of the examples that I can give you for an applet. Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to the yet another interesting session in Java. Guys, what is that I'm going to discuss with all of you in this session? If you know that you know Java, my dear students, never forget that you have to learn one of the important and interesting concept in Java, that is nothing but applet programming. So this is going to be very important topic in Java is what I would like to tell you at this point of time. So guys, I think this is a right session to understand what exactly the applet programming from the scratch. So yes, without wasting much of your time, let me take you to the session, what I have in this session for all of you. So guys, I will be discussing the basic concepts of applet programming, what exactly an applet is all about. So in the introduction, then followed by how exactly applet is different from an application. So that is going to be a very important topic for all of you because you will get a clear idea about what is an applet and what is an application. So then after that, I will be discussing one of the important topic again, how do I create or how do I write an applet? So what are the different steps involved in that is what I will be discussing with all of you. So after that, the last topic for the day, I will also discuss the life cycle of applet is what I'm going to discuss with all of you guys. So please make a note of all these things. I want all of you to please watch the video till the end so you will understand a lot of topics is what I would like to promise all of you. So let me start with the first concept that I have here. So guys, if I say the word applet, what should it come to your mind? So all of you would have used this calculator. This is one of the example that I can give you for an applet as of now. So but as and when the session moves on, so you will understand a lot of different things that you can create with the applet. Yes. So but whenever I say applet in the beginning sessions, so guys, imagine it's going to be the calculator as of now. Let's understand what is an applet. So please remember, applet is a small Java program that are mainly used in internet computing. So that's one of the important point that you need to remember with respect to the applet. So fine, what next that I have? They can be transported over the internet from one computer to another computer is what you need to remember. So yes, it's a small Java program. Okay, so it's a small Java program. So mainly I will be using that for the internet computing. And also I can send that from one computer to another computer is what you need to remember at this point of time. So moving forward, let's understand this in a detailed way. So with the help of how applet is different from an application. So that's what you need to remember. So let's understand with this one by one. So guys, remember, applet do not use the main function. That's the most important point that you need to remember here. So what is the meaning of it? So you all know that main function in the sense the execution of the program starts from the main function. But when it comes to the applet, I'm not going to use the main function is what you need to remember. So fine, I understood. So I'll not be using the main function, sir. Why are you using the word called function in the Java? Yes, I'm supposed to call it as a method. Yes. So that's what you need to remember. Function and the method both are same. That's what you need to remember. So fine. So that's a first important point that you need to remember with respect to the applet. Then what is the next thing that I have? So please observe, sir, unlike the standalone applications, applet cannot run independently. So that's a most important point that you need to remember. So applet does not run independently. So then what does it require? So please remember, they run inside a web page using a special feature known as HTML tags. I will be able to run the applet with the help of the browser, especially with the HTML tags is what you need to remember. And also I need the support of applet viewer. There is something called Applet Viewer, which I will be speaking about it in detail in the coming sessions. So guys, one thing you need to understand, if I want to run the applet, what is that I need? I need two things. First one is web page and the HTML tag, and the second one that I have is applet viewer. So fine, you understood the second point. And the next point that I have is applet cannot read or write to the file. That's a most disadvantage that I have with respect to the applet. I repeat, applet cannot read the data from the file or write the data to the file. That's a most important point that you need to keep it in your mind whenever you are dealing with applet. So fine, moving forward to the next one. And also applet cannot communicate with other servers. So that's a most important point again. So applet cannot communicate with the servers. So please remember that. So that's a major difference that you have with an application and an applet. Alright, moving forward to the next point. So applet cannot run any program from your local computer. So you are running. So please remember, applet cannot run any program from your local computer is one of the drawback that you have with respect to the applet. So guys, so moving to the last point that I have, applets are restricted from using the libraries from different languages like C and C++. So libraries in the sense what you guys would have come across by now. So you have a rich library in C and C++ like hash include conio.h. So conio.h is one of the famous library, stdio, iostream, string.h. So all these things, manip.h, all these things are the rich library directories that I have. I'm not supposed to use such directories with the applets is what you need to remember. So applet does not involve with such libraries, or I cannot include or I cannot use that libraries with the applet is what you need to remember at this point of time. This will give you the clear idea. So what exactly an app and what is an applet? So whatever I said, we cannot do it with respect to the applet. Applications will be doing it. So that's what you need to remember. An application can read and write a data to the file. An application can communicate with the server. An application can operate with any applications that you have in your local machines. So all these things, whatever I cannot do it with applet, I can do it with applications. That is what you need to understand, or understand the line, meaning between the lines that I wanted to convey here. Right? Moving forward to the next one. So guys, I have two topics in this session. So that is going to be life cycle of an applet. Along with that, I will also discuss one of the important topic that how do I write the applet? So guys, these two topics I will just introduce in this session. But when I come to the next session, I will discuss this in detail one by one. Okay, that's what you need to keep it in your mind. So yes, moving to the very important topic that I have. It's going to be the life cycle of an applet. Guys, very recently in our previous session, we have discussed the life cycle of a thread. But when it comes to the life cycle of applet, so please remember what is that I have here. So guys, I have the newly born applet. So applet is in the first state. So the first state of the applet is the born state. That's the beginning of the applet. We are trying to load that. Then after that, so we use the start function. Okay, we use the start function. So from the born state, it moves to the running state. So that's what you need to remember. And I use one of the important function, that is paint. You need to notice here. What is paint? Why do I use paint? And what exactly paint function or the paint method is doing? So what is the role of paint method in the applet? So you should have a question which I'm going to address in the coming session. Alright, so that's one of the important points that you need to remember. And then I have display, remember that also. So in the running state, so guys, I will be using the paint method. Then I can also use the method, so to stop the execution of the applet with the help of the method called stop. Okay, so if I use the stop method, definitely from the running state, it will go to the idle state. Okay, so idle state. So when it reaches the idle state, so it is not performing anything is what you need to remember. So that's what you need to remember, right? So fine, if I want to bring it back, if I want to resume it to the running state, so I will be using the function or the method that is start again. So to bring it back from the idle state to the running state. So fine, once it reaches the idle state, so I will be using the method called destroy, so which takes the which takes the applet to the last state, that is dead state. That is the end of the applet. This is the overview of life cycle of an applet. I will be discussing each state individually in the coming sessions is what you need to remember. Just I'm giving you the overview of a life cycle of an applet, but I will be discussing in detail with respect to each and every state that I have in this applet. This is just an overview of the life cycle of an applet. So guys, that's what I have here. So even in this slide, so let me not bore you guys by saying the same thing. So you have 4 different states in the applet. The first state is a born state, and the second state is a running state, and the third state is an idle state, and the last state is a dead state. So you all know that, all right? So I will be discussing each of these states in detail in the coming session is what I would like to tell you at this point of time. So fine, what are the next topic that I have? A very important topic in this chapter again. So guys, how do I write an applet? It's a big concept that I need to remember, and a very important concept that I need to remember with respect to the applet programming. Yes, so guys, even with this, I have listed out some 7 different steps or the points to create an applet. So I will be discussing in detail one by one. I want all of you to make a note of these points. I will be discussing in detail with respect to each point, whatever I have mentioned it here in the coming session in detail. That's what you need to remember. So guys, what is the first point which I will be discussing? How do I build the applet code? That's in the form of .java file. So that is going to be the first step if you want to build an applet. So that's what you need to remember. So guys, I repeat my statement. So what is that? First, you need to build the applet code. First, you need to build the applet code. It should be in the form of .java file. All right, that's our first thing. How do I do it? Yes, I will be discussing that in detail. Then the second step, after this, I will be creating an executable file of an applet. That's what you need to remember. Imagine it's very simple. I have a Java program. Okay, you all will understand if I say like this. I'm writing a Java program, so that's what I will call it as a .java file. Then I will compile it. So I will be creating, by compiling it, I will be creating a .class file. That's what you need to remember. That's the second step. And design a web page. Okay, design a web page using the HTML tag. So this is a separate file, and this is going to be a separate file. Okay, that's what you need to remember. So I'm designing, I'm done with the Java program now. Okay, I'm done with the Java program. Then after that, I'm going to design one web page, HTML page. All right. So in that HTML page, you have to use the applet tag. The next step. So you have to use the applet tag. So guys, you guys are familiar with the HTML tag, body tag, all those tags you remember, right? The same way, I have the tag called applet tag. I have the tag called applet tag. So that's what you need to have it in the web page. So that's the next page that they are saying. How do I do it? Yes, I will be discussing that in detail. So if you want to know, so you have to watch my next session too. All right. So fine. Incorporate the applet tag into the web browser or the web page. Yes, I can do that. So I can incorporate the applet tag to the web page. Yes, I will do that. And how do I do it? I will be discussing that too. All right, in detail. So create the HTML file. Yes, done. So I will be saving the HTML file and then test the applet. Run this HTML file and check whether that applet file is working fine or not. That's what you need to remember. Overview of it, how exactly applet is working. Let me recollect and let me tell you this again. So guys, basically you will create 2 files. One is a Java program file, another one is a HTML file. All right. So what is that you will do in the Java program? So you will write the code for the applet. So that's what you need to do it. So I will be explaining that how do I do it. So first thing that you need to remember in your mind, I have one Java program. Then after that, I will have one HTML file. So keep that in mind. In this HTML file, I will be having the applet tag there. I will be mentioning about this Java program. All right. So after that, I will be testing by running this HTML page. So that's what you need to remember. All right. So fine. So guys, both the things are very, very important. That's what you need to remember here. By saying this will give you the complete idea. If you understand each step in detail. So I will be discussing this with an example in my coming session in detail. So don't miss it. So guys, it will help you to understand what exactly is an applet programming. By discussing this, by saying this, I have come to an end of the session. Thank you. Bye-bye.